Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 14th of February. More than 10 security personnel killed in terror attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Interim bail of Pakistan's former President Zardari extended in money laundering case. And NATO chief says no decision yet on troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. And now for all the details. More than 10 personnel of India's Central Reserve Police Force were killed and several injured after terrorists targeted a convoy with a powerful explosive in Pulwama district of northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday. Officials said the nature of the device used to cause the explosion was yet to be ascertained. The injured had been moved to hospital for the treatment. Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group claimed responsibility for the attack. India has long accused Pakistan for arming and infiltrating terrorists across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
There was a terror incident. The CRPF convoy, which was coming from Jammu and going towards Srinagar, was attacked. We have suffered damage to the vehicle as well as to the men. We suspect that it was a vehicle-bound attack.
A massive fire broke out at a greeting card factory in Indian capital New Delhi on Thursday morning. No casualty was reported in the incident, which came within a week after a major hotel fire killed at least 17 people in the city.
A massive fire broke out at a greeting card factory in Indian capital New Delhi on Thursday. No casualties were reported in the incident. The fire broke out at Archie's Card, Stationery and Perfume Factory in Narayana area in the early hours of the day after reportedly the telephone switchboard caught fire and spread to the top floors, burning property kept inside the multi-story building. The fire services were alerted, after which 29 fire tenders rushed to the spot and successfully doused the fire.
आग लगने का जो आप देख रहे हैं, ये मेन कारण ये है कि इसमें ऐसे ये सिलेंडर्स हैं जो इसमें वो करते हैं, तो ये आग इसमें लगने के बाद बुझता नहीं है. तो हम अभी कंट्रोल बर्निंग कर रहे हैं कि आग को बिल्कुल फैलने का कोई खतरा नहीं है.
ये आर्चीज कंपनी है, ग्रीटिंग कार्ड और स्टेशनरी और गिफ्ट आइटम की, और इसके अंदर सुबह EPBX बोर्ड में 6:30 के करीब आग लगी है. वो आग आगे फैलते फैलते ऊपर फसाड से ऊपर चली गई और ऊपर हमारा स्टेशनरी का प्रोडक्ट, परफ्यूम आइटम पड़े हुए थे.
This was the second major fire incident in the Indian capital within a week. It came after at least 17 people lost their lives in a hotel fire in Karol Bagh area of the city on Tuesday. In most places across India, fire safety regulations are lax and not periodically reviewed, which results in major fires breaking out, resulting in loss of life and property.
And in news from Pakistan, the interim bail of Pakistan's former president Asif Ali Zardari, his sister Farial Talpur and other suspects in a money laundering case was extended till March 5th by a banking court on Thursday. The Federal Investigation Agency is investigating a total of 32 people in relation to money laundering of over 35 billion rupees from fictitious accounts.
A banking court on Thursday extended the interim pre-arrest bail of Pakistan's former president Asif Ali Zardari and his sister Farial Talpur till March 5th in an ongoing money laundering case. The former president and his sister, along with other suspects, appeared before the court as the interim bail granted to them ended on Thursday. The Federal Investigation Agency, or FIA, is investigating a total of 32 people, including Zardari and Talpur, in relation to money laundering of over Rs 35 billion from fictitious accounts. During the hearing, the court asked the investigation officer whether there was any progress in the probe regarding the fake accounts case. The officer replied that as per the Supreme Court's orders, the case was being transferred to the National Accountability Bureau, or NAB, for further investigation. His statement was opposed by Zardari's lawyer, who said that the top court had only directed that the case be investigated further and not the case being handed over to the NAB, and further requested the court to extend his client's bail. The court accepted the request and set March 5th as the date for the next hearing.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has said the organization's role in Afghanistan is about providing conditions for a political and peaceful solution. The NATO chief, before the start of the defense ministers' meeting in Brussels on Wednesday, said the aim is to, of course, not be in Afghanistan forever, but to be in the country to fight terrorism and to train, assist and advise Afghan security forces.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on Wednesday said the organization's role in Afghanistan is about providing conditions for a political and a peaceful solution. Addressing journalists before the start of the defense ministers' meeting in Brussels, Stoltenberg said the aim is, of course, not to be in Afghanistan forever, but to fight terrorism and to train, assist and advise Afghan security forces. He also said no decision has been taken about any withdrawal of troops, but they strongly support the efforts to reach a peaceful political settlement.
The aim is, of course, not to be in Afghanistan forever. The aim is to be in Afghanistan to fight terrorism and to train, assist and advise the Afghan National Army security forces so they can stabilize their own country. No decision has been taken about any withdrawal, but we strongly support the efforts to reach a political, peaceful settlement. And therefore we are in close contact with the US Special Envoy, Ambassador Khalilzad. He has briefed NATO allies 3 times over the last weeks on the efforts to try to reach an agreement with Taliban.
The NATO chief's remark came after top US commander in Afghanistan, General Scott Miller, in December, assured that they will continue to support the Afghan forces even if they get an order about troop withdrawal. More than 2,400 US security personnel have died in the 17-year-old war in Afghanistan. There are presently at least 14,000 foreign troops in the country who are engaged in counter-terror as well as train and advise mission for their Afghan counterparts.
And more on news from Afghanistan. Prayer ceremony for former interim president and ex-jihadi leader Sibqatullah Mujahidi was held on Wednesday, who passed away on Monday night following prolonged illness. Mujahidi served as president after the fall of Muhammad Najibullah's government in 1992.
A special prayer ceremony was held at the Afghan presidential palace on Wednesday for former interim president and ex-jihadi leader Sibqatullah Mujahidi after he died on Monday night following a long illness. The ceremony was attended by government leaders including President Ashraf Ghani, former jihadi leaders, politicians and foreign dignitaries. Addressing the event, Ghani said Mujahidi, who died at 93, had been a teacher to all the people and said his political achievements had been significant.
جناب حضرت خصوصیات نهایت خاص داشتن در طول زندگیشون. اول استاد ما بود. از شاگردی تا آخری روزهای خود استاد تمام مردم افغانستان بودن.
Mujahidi was born on 21st April in 1925. He served as president after the fall of Muhammad Najibullah's government in April 1992. He was the founder of the Afghan National Liberation Front and served as the chairman of the 2003 Loya Jirga, the Grand Assembly that approved Afghanistan's new constitution after the fall of the Taliban regime in 2001. In 2005, he was appointed chairman of the Meshrano Jirga, the upper house of the parliament, and was reappointed as a member in 2011. He also served on the Afghan High Peace Council. Mujahidi was considered as a moderate Muslim leader.
Moving on to news from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has begun advertising for hangmen as the country's president pushes ahead with a hardline policy modelled on the Philippines to combat drug trafficking. Sri Lanka's last hangman quit in 2014 without ever having to execute anyone, citing stress after seeing the gallows for the first time. Another hired last year never turned up for work.
Sri Lanka began advertising for hangmen this week as the country's president pushes ahead with a hardline policy model on the Philippines to combat drug trafficking. The last execution in Sri Lanka was 43 years ago, but President Maithripala Sirisena said last week he wants to resume the use of capital punishment for drug traffickers in the next 2 months.
දැනට තිබෙන වාර්තා පදනම් කරගෙන බොහෝ වෙලාවට අපිට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙයි මරණීය දණ්ඩනය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඉදිරි මාසයක් දෙකක් කාලය තුල එය විස්තර වශයෙන්ම කිරීමට මම තීරණයක් අරගෙන තිබෙනවා මොන විදිහේ විරෝධතා ආවත්.
Sri Lanka's last hangman quit in 2014 without ever having to execute anyone, citing stress after seeing the gallows for the first time. Another hired last year never turned up for work. Anticipating that capital punishment could soon be used again, the prison service is hurrying to recruit 2 executioners.
එල්ලුම් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන එක හොඳයි මොකද රටේ තියෙන අද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න දූෂණ එක එක අර්බුදකාරී ප්‍රශ්න ඉඳලා ප්‍රචණ්ඩකාරීකයා වැඩිනේ ඒකින එල්ලුම් අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඕනේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්.
During a state visit to the Philippines in January, Sirisena had praised the country's war on drugs despite international criticism of a campaign that has resulted in thousands of people being killed in encounters with police. Drug trafficking is a capital offence in Sri Lanka, although no one has been executed for any crime in the country since 1976, as all death penalties have been commuted to life imprisonment since then.
A unique exhibition of vintage radio sets was organized on Wednesday in India's southern Coimbatore city to create awareness among the youngsters about the power that radio beholds as a medium of mass communication. More than 160 rare radio sets were displayed in the exhibition for the visitors.
An exhibition of vintage radio sets was organized on Wednesday in Coimbatore city of India's southern Tamil Nadu province to mark the World Radio Day. A rare collection of 160 radio sets right from 1920s were displayed in the exhibition for the visitors. The event was aimed at creating awareness among the youngsters about the indispensable role that radio played in the lives of the people in the past and its power to disseminate information in today's fast-moving world. The theme of this year's World Radio Day was dialogue, tolerance and peace.
இன்றைக்கி சர்வதேச வானொலி தினம் உலகெங்கும் வெகு விமரிசையாக வளர்ந்த நாடுகள் எல்லாம் கொண்டாடி வருகிறார்கள். அந்த சமயத்தில் நம்ம ஊர்லேயும் இது மாதிரி ஒரு கண்காட்சி விழிப்புணர்வை ஏற்படுத்தணும் அப்படிங்கிற நோக்கத்தில் தான் இதை காட்சிப்படுத்தியிருக்கிறேன். சுமார் 120க்கும் மேற்பட்ட ரேடியோக்களை நான் இங்கே பார்வைக்கு வச்சுருக்கேன். அதில் ஃபஸ்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் சொல்லக்கூடிய வேக்கம் டியூப் ரேடியோவிலிருந்து தொடுதிரை தொழில்நுட்பத்தினுடைய தற்போதைய ஜென்ரேஷன் வரைக்கும் பயன்படுத்தக்கூடிய ரேடியோ வரைக்கும் பார்வைக்கு வச்சுருக்கேன்.
World Radio Day is observed on February 13 every year. The day celebrates radio as a forum for information and entertainment and as a bridge of communication for remote communities and its role in empowering people.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. More than 10 security personnel killed in terror attack in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Interim bail of Pakistan's former President Zardari extended in money laundering case. And NATO chief says no decision yet on troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.